This week marks the end of the September quarter and obviously a big one for Mullen Automotive. Hi again, everyone. I hope you're all doing really well. So, Mullen Automotive is in for a bit of an interesting week, I am guessing, just because it seems to be the end of the quarter and we're at a point in the company's development where things are changing, and there's going to be a number of little milestones and flags to look out for with the company. So, following on from what happened last week, we saw the stock drop by about 23% to finish the week off at 53 cents. Keeping in mind this was following a strong rally in the previous week. So it wasn't that surprising to see Mullen Automotive shareholder value erode a little bit, as has been the storied past of this company. And if you flip over to the shorting action, it's interesting. So since the announcement of the legal action into manipulative trading of the stock, we have seen a bit of a reduction in shorts. Overall, currently Fintel's giving a rating of about 15.5% of the float shorted, and saying that the average cost to borrow is about 23%, which isn't that significant anymore. It's been up over the 100% mark on numerous occasions before. But, it's just the kind of ways, just because the stock's still highly shorted doesn't really seem to do much in terms of bringing in retail interest for a bit of a short squeeze. Now, given that this is the week where September 30 comes up and we see the end of the quarter, there is obviously a cutoff point, and it's going to mean that we're going to see some financials and company updates coming out from Mullen Automotive fairly soon. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to be watching for things such as revenue and vehicle deliveries. Now, I can't say this with any authority. I'm only hearing it through secondhand channels, but there seems to be a guess that there's going to be about 14 M1 vehicles delivered this quarter, and they're actually meant to be delivered this week. That's an interesting development in the sense that, because if this news is true, that means that the company's probably gotten its EPA certification. I guess the company didn't feel the need to put out their EPA certification. I actually don't mind that they don't announce it to the market, in the sense that, if they go and just do a little announcement for every little development they have, it's kind of a bit insignificant, and it's kind of a bit of a waste of effort. I think it's an EV company. You kind of want to assume that they are going to be meeting these EPA requirements. So I don't think they need to make a big song and dance about it. But I know obviously there's a lot of people out there who would have liked to have known. If you're one of those, let me know if you think it was important for Mullen to disclose what they got their EPA certification. Share that in the comments. I'd really love to hear about that. We might hear some news about vehicle deliveries, and obviously some revenue figures that will be attached to that. And that's obviously one thing everyone wants to see of the company. They want to see some revenue coming in. Obviously, it's not going to be a lot of revenue. It's only a small number of vehicles that are being delivered in this quarter, but still, it's an important one. We see some revenue showing up on the book. So aside from the sales and revenue, the other thing that a lot of people are talking about with Mullen Automotive is, what should the company do with the stock buyback? Now, obviously, we might see some update as to how much of the $25 million has been deployed in the stock buyback. In the past, I've actually been quite critical of the stock buyback. I know obviously it had its purpose. It was going to potentially help get the stock back above that $1 per share mark, and avoid what's happened to Mullen Automotive right now, which is, it seemed to obviously been a fail. But we also know that they haven't deployed, or to our knowledge anyway, they haven't deployed the whole $25 million. Now, I don't think the company should be using this to buy back stock at this point in time, because they've raised money and they've seen the share price erode to get that money. And obviously it's all they're spending basically $5 to buy $1 worth of stock back based on what they've sold to the market. That's just an analogy. It's not the actual figure, but you get the point I'm making. I don't think the stock buyback is necessary. I know obviously we want to see the stock come back to above $1, but now that Mullen Automotive is lining up to have its hearing with the NASDAQ, hold on to that money. I'd rather they keep that money and put it towards something more useful for the company's operations, rather than just using it for manipulating the stock. I'd like to see the company obviously focus on what it is that they are here to do, and that is to produce electric vehicles. So that's my opinion. I don't think they should be using the stock buyback just for some short-term sugar rush to meet NASDAQ compliance. But I'm sure people with differing opinions out there. I guess it depends on what's your goal with Mullen? Are you in it for a short-term pop, or are you in it for a longer-term ride and hoping to, see some longer-term value delivered? So I guess that might influence your opinion on any stock buybacks at the moment. Share your thoughts on Mullen Automotive and their stock buyback in the comments. Really, it's always curious to see the spectrum of views that I get when watching this stock. Now, speaking of that sugar rush coming from a stock buyback, I saw an interesting video over the weekend, or actually only a few hours ago, and it was they looked at this source on Twitter. I won't name names. I don't like to name names. It's because I'm often like poking things out that I disagree, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. People disagree with me all the time. That's totally fine. But I saw someone sort of say that there's going to be there's a $50 price target for Q2 of 2024 with this company. That would be brilliant. I'm sure most people would love it, but to be honest, I don't see the stock getting to $50 in the next sort of 9 months. We have to get to $1. Like, I can't even see us getting to $1 at the moment. I'm joking. I'm really hoping it's going to get to $1, but let's just get to the $1 mark and let's just start to see some more significant developments from the company. The one thing I'd rather hear, instead of these price tags, I'd rather hear people just saying that, yep, Mullen has just announced a new sale. They're going to be selling X number of trucks to this person or X number of trucks to this person. That's what we need at this point in time. We've got some sales that have been made before production started, and we've seen a few small scale sales come through since then. But really, Mullen Automotive, what they need right now is they need to start getting more sales for their vehicles, and hopefully that's what's going to come in the pipeline. I'm not reading too much to price targets at the moment, but yeah. So just a couple of thoughts on what I think is going on with Mullen and what I think to look out for in this coming week. If you've got any other ideas of things that we should be looking out for, please share it in the comments below. I'm not a financial advisor or expert by any means. I'm just someone who gives my thoughts on this company, and I always love to hear what other people are thinking too. Get some good ideas down there, get some bit left field ones as well, but you take the good with the bad. Anyway, share your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you guys all had a great weekend, and hopefully Mullen Automotive does something special for us this week. Until next time, may the markets trade in your favour. Cheers.